music. Today we are looking at the healing power of mother's love. And love itself through the nurturing heart of our mothers is exactly what we need to live, to grow, to thrive. There's a beautiful reading from the book by Tom Johnson, To Love or Be Loved. And this is, we use this book in one of our classes.
Yes, sir.
I hear of prayer therapy in our prayer therapy classes. One of our more advanced classes, we really get into love. So this, I believe, would be my mother's wish for me, and our mother's wish for all of us to know. I am here to love. This is my only reason for being. To love, to reveal the divine nature of my total self. I am created in the image and likeness of God. I have everything to give and everything to share. What I give is what I have. What I share is what comes back to me. I am here to love, and I let go of every person, place, or thing as being cause to my experience. As I do this, there are people of love in my life. I seek nothing of anyone. The kingdom of God is within. It is in the action, the expression, which is now taking place by means of me. It is the love that I express. This is where the power is. Within the activity of this moment, I choose to love, and I let the law of love take care of every detail from this moment on. I love you. I love you. I love you. This is the beginning. Our speaker today is filled with love, and with a healing, nurturing love that she has expressed with her own child, and I would say also her fur children, because our next speaker is an avid cat lover. And I don't know if I'd say activist, but she is a proponent for cat charities and she has such a compassion for the little furry ones. But besides that, she's a longtime minister with us, and she has a lot to say about the healing power of a mother's love. Please welcome Reverend Elaine Fuller-Zachey.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, the healing power of mother's love. That's wonderful, huh? Mother's love. My mother expressed her love in many ways that were healing. She was supportive when I kissed my first boy. Kind of a disaster. She sent me money for cats' special care when I was unable to afford it. She called and we visited each and other, and those were wonderful, healing, loving experiences. That's when I was far away from her. I attended Oak Street School up to the 6th grade, and there I met Philip. He and his twin sister entered class when I was in the 3rd grade. I had my first crush on him, and when I found him in the coat room, I rushed up and I kissed him. Just suddenly. Well, 3rd grade people kind of don't like that. So he and 2 friends followed me home after school and pushed me into a mud puddle and ran off.
Oh.
That's not romantic, really. My husband never did that. Mom lent me an understanding ear and helped me clean up. I believe she called the school to report this. Philip and his sister moved away after the school year, and I never heard anything about them after that. I wasn't interested in boys for several years. I mean, they weren't nice. Woo. Mom was there for me, right? Listening with love and helping me clean the mud out of my hair and off my skin, and I think I had a skinned knee too. She didn't tell me I was unimportant or my issues were trivial. She listened. That's healing. Mom sometimes helped me with cat care too. After I'd moved in with Paul, and we had a stable enough home, we made furry little additions to our home. Soon after, he and I adopted our first kitty, Missy, and I found her at Lake Choice Park. Pretty soon after that, she presented us with 5 little kitties. You know, we kept 2 of these, and we adopted out 3, and the cat, well, I started on the cat lady path at that point.
Yay.
I was just so happy to have a little kitty. You know, we had dogs sometimes too, and they were great too. Well, cats need food and health care just like we do, and sometimes the health needs seemed expensive. Sometimes we didn't have the money to take care of sudden health needs. You know, I mean, I didn't have it, and Paul didn't seem to have it either. So Mom sent me money to help out. She helped me save little kitty lives a lot more than once. Her love had great power to help heal them physically and help heal me emotionally. Phone calls and visits from Mom, you know, between us, helped heal the distance between Mom in New York State and me here in San Diego. We talked every week, talked about everything and nothing. As she grew older and less able to focus on conversation, as well as even remember who was on the phone, I still called. I had to sort of build up to calling because it was physically and emotionally difficult. But I called about every week. Sometimes she drifted off during the call and even dropped the phone toward the end. I had to shout the same very simple phrase. This is Elaine. I love you. This is Elaine. I love you. Shouted again and again. And that was toward the end of her life. I know that she understood some of it. And she knew that somewhere someone cared about her and was talking to her. And she got that love. It was certainly something I could do for her. Every year Mom would visit me here during Christmas, or I'd go to her home during August summer break when the school closed down. I was a teacher. When she was here, we went shopping together for Christmas dinner, and it was just so much fun. You have no idea. We bought turkey, stuffing, potatoes, and vegetables, and one time we bought these chocolate-covered cherries. My grandpa used to love these, and he got them every year at Christmas. And so we bought them, and we ate them all on the way home. We were so hungry. So we got home, and we put away all the food, and we had to go back and get chocolate-covered cherries. Oh, it was great. I'd make pies myself just before Christmas, you know, not on that day, but before. And I wouldn't cook them. I'd put them in the freezer to take out and cook, you know, they're a fresh pie, you know. On Christmas Day, Mom, my husband Paul, and I would cook all sorts of stuff. It was a lot of work, and it was just so So wonderful, so exciting, so much fun. We usually had guests too, and they brought something to eat or drink. It was perfect, just working and playing together with my mother. It was wonderful to create a perfect dinner and a perfect memory, you know. It just, her love, well, we related differently after I had become an adult and moved away. We were best friends, no matter how many miles separated us. Mom's love healed my loneliness, my missing her, you know, and the holiday celebrations were wonderful, and they left me with memories. I have them today. Maybe you can see your own favorite memories with your mother. I'd visit her in upstate New York on alternate years. While visiting, I'd help her with cleaning, gardening, and shopping. We'd go out to eat and talk about our lives in general. One early summer evening in upstate New York, a sudden thunderstorm embraced the area. Those thunderstorms are magnificent. The dramatic thunder was followed with lightning that lit up the sky and the surroundings with powerful clarity for just a second. That was all. This particular storm brought winds strong enough to down trees and telephone poles that left the air crisp and clean and cool and supercharged with joyful energy. And that was the first act. The cleanup followed. Immediately after the storm, city crews fled past Mom's house to clear out a giant tree that had crashed into power lines. It had torn through these lines to break down the supporting pole. Crash. You know, and it was half a block from us. The truck's siren just screamed through the fresh air while their warning lights flashed yellow to keep all away. The saw screamed its funeral dirge, just screamed so loud as it cut through the limbs and the trunk. The workers quickly orchestrated the process, including loading parts of the deceased giant onto the city truck. And then they disappeared into the night. It was pretty fast. The caution lights and sawhorses stayed all night to guard the scene from the curious. Was this healing? Is it still healing and love? Oh, yes, you betcha it was. It was dramatic and great and a part of my past that will stay in my mind forever. It's part of the reason I'm so in love with the people and the place of the hometown of my youth, Fulton, New York. It's upstate New York. Mom made that experience possible. Her love. I can see it. I can see it. What about you? Has your mother's love been healing and beautiful to you? Or maybe the love of a mother figure. Think about it. Is there something that you would like to share with us? Who would like to talk a minute or so about an experience? Yes. Jennifer, please speak loudly so we can really hear.
Well, when I was probably about 4 or 5 years old, I had a bad cold or the flu. I don't remember what. I just was feeling miserable. And it was around Christmas time, and we had a Christmas tree with all the lights. And in those days, we had tinsel made out of tin. And one of those, and those bulbs that looked like candles that bubbled up in different colors. And Mom had made me some soup. And She had me on her lap, and we were facing the tree, and all the lights were out except for the tree lights. And she giving me that warm soup, and her love, I felt more loved in that moment than at any time in my life. With the warm soup, my mother's embrace, and that beautiful Christmas tree. It was the most wonderful, loving, nurturing time of my life.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Does anyone else? Who else has an experience to share with us? Yes, please, Mary Ann.
Well, I remember when I got the measles, and I was probably about 6 years old. You know, when you go to start to school, you get stuff. And I remember, I think there were probably 3 or 4 of us at the time, and we all caught it because I brought her home. And we were all, she had us all in the bed, and she would come in and she would sit there, and she had this basin of cool water, and she would wring out the washcloth and she would put it across that basin. It felt so good because we were all feverish. And when they do things like that, you know that this is truly a healing thing. And I still remember that very vividly. And every time I would wake up, and there she was, and she would cool me down, and then each one of us. But she must have been there all night long, because I remember in the morning waking up, and she was still there. So she must have been there all night long. And I think, wow, that's mother's love. And I truly did feel loved, and I felt the healing power of it too. So, but I think it probably took a while, but I know that she was there throughout the duration of that. And I think they used to last about 2 weeks, but I'm not sure. But she was there. Every time I woke up, she was there with that basin of water and the washcloth. Yeah.
Yes, please.
But I remember my mother putting her hand on my forehead, I mean, hundreds of times.
Yeah.
But I also remember her stuffing Vicks up her nose.
Oh, yeah.
There were 3 kids, and we'd all get the Vicks stuffed up our nose. So that was so wonderful, but certainly helped. But my mom got to come here a few times, so you maybe remember her. And she was the most generous person ever, and she, I don't know, she's truly missed. I know where she is, but she's having a good time. She always, she was the one racing across the room. Whatever she was doing, she was in a super hurry. And I used to, when I was taking care of her towards her later years, I'd try and keep her, go slower. And she was always in a hurry to go get something done. And she always she liked to look nice and get her nails done and her toenails and get her hair done, and I would do all those things for her. So, I was glad I could give back to her. So.
Thank you so much, Fran. That's beautiful. I'm sure others can think of your experiences too. And we can look to Reverend Dr. Ann Meyer McKeever as the mother, quote unquote, mother of the teaching of the inner Christ. Right? I mean, she, Ann welcomed Babaji to channel truth through her and to cooperate with Peter Meyer, who channeled it also, and so create the organization. She certainly allowed for its formation, and in a sense, she gave birth to it. She gave birth to the teaching of the inner Christ, or TIC, and set down this information into lessons, books, worksheets, and a pathway for students who desire to ascend, many to the ministry, right? The work of Anne and others allow the teaching to still continuously introduce students to meditation and prayer treatments that heal and enlighten, and to further teach them to offer prayer and meditation. Wonderful healing. And let's remember Mary, mother of Jesus. Jesus is an inner Christ of many of us. Mary's agreement to give birth to Jesus was huge in her culture, as it meant she would become pregnant before marriage. Oh, no, it's a crime for which she could become an outcast, even stoned to death. She cared for and guided Jesus with the help of Joseph, who became her husband. He was guided to do this also. She certainly stayed close to Jesus during his ministry and witnessed the crucifixion. We can thank Mary for her wonderful, wonderful role in bringing us Jesus. His teachings led us to the teaching of the inner Christ. And that's a lot of healing. That's a lot of healing. Well, happiness, joy, love, and healing and lifting as you desire and need. That's to all of you, to all of us. And thank you for listening.